Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just thought to change the scenery a bit. I just didn't want to be in my other recording room. Anyway, yesterday we were celebrating World OT Day, so I thought it would be fitting today to actually speak about something that I've actually been running away from speaking about. And this month is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So I've really tried to stay away from mental health issues because I feel like, everybody is talking about it. But I kind of think that maybe I should, just share what mental health is and how OT and mental health relates with one another, and how OTs are such a vital and crucial part in mental health issues. So if you want to carry on and find out more about mental health issues or mental health and occupational therapy, stay tuned. So basically, we know what OT is now, but if you don't know, occupational therapy is a healthcare professional or a healthcare profession that uses occupations in order to restore or promote health and well-being. So basically what occupational therapists do is we look at a person's areas of occupation, and we look at how best to make those areas of occupations fulfilling, bring fulfillment and meaning to the person's life. So usually occupational therapy is based on occupational science. As a study of human beings being occupational beings. So we're basically described as being in the process of doing, being, and becoming. We look at the 8 areas of occupations, and then we actually scrutinize and analyze the engagement in those areas of occupations, which are literally activities basically. So they can be described as activities of daily living or instrumental activities of daily living. So I have a video that speaks about the 8 areas of occupations, the activities of daily living. I'll pop it up here somewhere. But basically today I want us to speak about what mental health is and how it's related to occupational therapy. So we know that occupations are things that really contribute to the things that we do on a daily basis. So basically from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed at night, there are certain activities that are happening within that period that need for you to be your best self. You need to be able to feel good, and you need to be able to do things within that period of time that are bringing fulfillment to you and are bringing meaning and purpose to you. So then what OTs do is that they take their knowledge and their experience, and they look at these activities and they analyze them. So we have this thing called activities health. So basically activities health is where we take a person's activities, their daily activities, and we look at how much time they are spending on what activities. And for a normal person, or how we how we describe normal activities, is when that balance of activities is healthy, or we then know that if that if that activity's health is not balanced, then that person is activities unhealthy. And then the aim in therapy then is to actually get the person back to an activities healthy lifestyle. So then when we look at mental health, right? So mental health, the definition of it is emotional and psychological and social well-being. So basically mental health affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. So when you are having a disruption in how you feel and how you think and how you act, most of the things that you do within that day or within your occupations are not going to be going as well as if you are feeling a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. So then we are able to identify in how you are engaging in your occupations and your activities of daily living, how you are feeling about yourself and your situation and your environment, and how your behavior is towards those things. We're able to kind of see that your mental health is a little bit disrupted, right? So you don't necessarily have to be diagnosed with a mental illness for you to have a disruption in your mental health. So mental health also determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. So you need your mental health in order for you to be able to deal with stress appropriately, relate to people, being able to identify how other people are feeling, what they are going through, and also in terms of just making decisions that are best for you and your situation. So when there's a disruption in that, it's obvious that you would need an occupational therapist to help you kind of give you the tools and strategies to get back into you being able to be in a state of acting the way you would normally act, or in a normal way. And I keep using this because there's no normal according to the societal standards, right? Because we all know that normal is relative. So I'm going to use this quite a lot. So basically, when you need an occupational therapist to kind of help you through that process, so that you're getting back to the state of acting and thinking and feeling okay again, and also being able to make good decisions for yourself, relate to others, and cope positively towards the stresses that are coming from, daily life. So normally the signs and symptoms of mental health is we can identify it by already, as I have mentioned, if you're starting to think a little bit differently than you used to, if you're starting to feel a little bit differently, and also if your behavior is starting to be a little bit weird and not how you would normally act in certain situations. So other things that can be a sign that your mental health is a little bit disturbed are moods. Are you irritable? Are you sad? Do you go through like extreme highs when you're extremely happy, and then the next day you're extremely sad? And it's really difficult for you to get into that middle ground and stay in that middle ground of with your mood. Also, another thing that is a very big signal is excessive fear, anxiety, and worry. Need to be warning signs to you that your mental health is a little bit off balance, and there is actually things that you can do and medication that you can take to help with anxiety and depression, and also tools for you and strategies for you to center yourself again when you start feeling anxious and worry and fear. A big thing that as occupational therapists that we really focus on is social withdrawal. Most people, when they are going through difficult times, it's easier for them to just isolate themselves from their family, their friends, and not really want to talk about it. So social withdrawal is a huge sign that occupational therapists actually use and see when mental health issues are a problem within certain patients. And obviously the most common things is changing in sleeping patterns and eating patterns. So if you're eating too much or too little, if you're sleeping too much or too little, and again that balance of you being in the center is off, like, so there's two extremes. That's how you know that your mental health is compromised and it's time for you to seek help. So the causes of mental health issues? Honestly, most of the time it's our contexts, our social issues that are happening around us. This year has been the toughest year for most of us in terms of mental health, because there's been so much that's been happening on social media, so much that's happening in the world, and it's just created like a big uncertainty for most of us. So it is relative, and it's different for different circumstances. So other things is genes, biological factors, reactions to environmental stresses, and also just biochemical imbalances in the brain. And that's why mental health is such an important thing, and something that shouldn't be stigmatized about, because if it's an imbalance in the brain, there's medication for us to take to kind of balance our neurotransmitters or whatever it is that's happening in our system. And it can also just be a combination of everything that I've mentioned. You know, especially with this year, we have seen that different kinds of things can happen at any time, and that can take us off key and really affect our mental health in a negative way. So what do OTs do when they are in a mental health, what do OTs do when they are in a mental health institution, or how do they actually help people with mental health issues? Remember, you don't need to be diagnosed to have mental health dysfunction, to have mental health dysfunction, and also to have mental health, your mental health compromised. You don't have to be diagnosed for you to notice, or for you to actually then start doing something with your mental health. When we are in an institution, or when we are in community development, it depends on the settings that we are in. Here I'm just gonna talk about what we do just in the sphere of mental health. So we help with cognitive assessment, help with groups and social participation, because one of the signs of a mental health disturbances is social withdrawal. So we help with social participation group, with therapy, providing therapy. We help with participation in activities of daily living. We help with socio-emotional skills, and basically just life skills, and in general, survival skills, meal preparation, financial management, health management, insights. Those things are very important to be able to help with mental health issues. Above and beyond all of that, in terms of life skills, we also help with job readiness, to make sure that your boss understands your mental health issue, to make sure that you understand and you're able to explain it, if you feel comfortable, to explain it to the people that you work with or your boss. We help with therapeutic cooking, which is then going into making sure that you're able to participate in your activities of daily living that you need to be able to do in order for you to feel a sense of fulfillment and meaning in your life. We help with the wellness recovery programs. We help with therapeutic leisure activities. And it's one thing that is really detrimental in society currently, is because we don't have constructive leisure activities to do. Some of us don't even know what leisure activities to do. Sometimes even having leisure activities to do means that you need to, have money in order to do activities. So we kind of help to introduce you to constructive use of leisure time, and also how to engage in constructive leisure and get away from the more destructive leisure activities that could exacerbate your mental health issues. We help with nutrition and independent living, it's very important that whatever we eat, we know that food can be medicine to the body, and it can help with brain function, and it can help with general physical wellness. So it's very important for us to also look at those factors when we are dealing with mental health issues. We also then help with coping mechanisms, breathing techniques, strategies, basically in terms of how to respond to environmental stresses, to stresses at work, at home. We help with providing the tools for you to be able to do that. We help with conflict management, and we help with self-regulation. And I think that's what's kind of missing probably in our generation or in society, is the awareness of self, the awareness of others, the awareness of your own feelings, in order for you to then monitor them and evaluate them and regulate how you're feeling, and being able to pick up on those things before they even get you into like a difficult situation. So I think it's very important for us, just as a society and as a people, to learn conflict management skills and self-regulation skills, and also being able to be self-aware. And it's part of the things that we teach or help with in occupational therapy in terms of mental health. We also help with community integration. We help with community integration, because most of the time with mental health care users, they are then put in an institution where they get back to their health again, and then they have to go back into the communities. Unfortunately, we can't keep them in hospitals forever or in institutions forever, so we need to get them ready for them going back into the environments that they came from, and also just making them aware that they have the power and the tools to be able to not let the environment and their circumstance affect their mental health again. We also help with physical well-being, and it also goes with the nutrition. It's very important for us to be physically fit, then we can be mentally fit, and we can then also focus on our spirituality and our soul. So it's very important for us to not only look at the physical, but when we're looking at the mind, body and soul, to understand that these things work together so that we can feel at our optimal level. We help with creating supportive structures, for clients. We help with support groups. We help with facilitating meetings with family members to actually explain what is going on with the client, and is the family actually contributing to the mental illness, or are they providing the necessary support to facilitate a healthy a mental health for this person. So it's very important that we bring in the family members of mental health patients, so that they can also know that they play a crucial role in a state of a mental health person, or you know what I mean. And then the big one is we play a very big role in community development. So basically addressing the barriers to mental health in communities. It's very sad, but it's still something that's happening where people are ostracized, people are judged, people are treated differently because of their mental situations. And it's not something that people bring onto themselves deliberately. It's just like physical disabilities. It's things that happen in life, and we need to be able to break down those stereotypical ways or stigmatizations that happen within our communities. So it's very important for occupational therapists to be in communities and to make sure that communities are building a space for everybody to coexist, to the normal, the mental health patients and the physically disabled people. We're all in this world to kind of fulfill what we need to fulfill and move on. So it's not because someone else has deserved it or they've brought it on themselves or things like that. So we are there to kind of deconstruct those kinds of thinking so that people can live harmoniously within their communities. So then, just to wrap up with emphasizing on what occupational therapy is as a profession, it's vital to helping individuals with mental illness develop the skills they need in order for them to live a life of meaning and purpose, and live a life of fulfillment and independence as well. So when you are going through mental health issues, don't be afraid to reach out and help. Therapy is something that is very expensive, but it is something that does help you in the long run. And you need to be cognizant of the fact that when you are reaching out for help, make sure that you are ready to receive the help. Therapy is very uncomfortable. Therapy is like the gym, basically. If you want to get that good looking summer body, you're going to have to work through the pain, work through the discomfort of your muscles feeling tight, of your heart beating very fast. You're going to feel those things in therapy. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel out of your comfort zone. You're going to feel defensive, and it's very important for you to know that it's okay for you to feel like that. You need to be able to dismantle the patterns and the cycles that you have built up until this time, and it's not easy to break them. So do give yourself a chance and give yourself grace when you're going into therapy, and understand that it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, and you can go to therapy and tap out and say, this is not for me, and you can go again and keep trying until you are at the state in which you are happy with. So if you need other alternatives in terms of getting help with your mental health, make sure that you are reaching out to social media. Like, social media obviously has its negatives, but it does have its positives. There's people who are blogging and writing and are being more vocal about mental health issues. There's people like us who are coming into spaces like YouTube to talk about mental health issues, to talk about professions, because we want to bring awareness and we want to advocate for you guys to be able to get the help that you need, and don't feel ashamed for it. There's a lot of self-help books that you can read also, and if you are a spiritual person, you can look into getting guidance within your faith structures, your Bible. There's a lot of spiritual types of videos on YouTube as well. So use the internet to your advantage to get the help that you need. So we all have a responsibility to use our platforms in order to bring awareness about the issues that are most important to us. Because being in life and going through life, we know that we have very unique paths and different paths, but we also have similarities, and there's something that I can personally go through that can help someone else. So make sure that you're using your platform or you're using yourself. In therapy, we have this thing called therapeutic use of self. So your therapeutic use of self is you using your personal experiences and your knowledge to help the other person get through a difficult time or help them with the situation that they're going through. So in light of just summing up Mental Health Month and World OT Day, I just wanted to just speak to you guys about mental health. It is something that is very, very, very important to me as an occupational therapist, and I do look forward to talking more about it, and I will definitely do so. But please leave a comment down below if you found this helpful, and if you want us to talk more about mental health, or me to talk more about mental health. But I hope that this little bit of knowledge that I've imparted is actually very helpful to you, and you can use it. And yeah, please take care of yourself. Remember, occupational therapy strengthens the body, empowers the mind, and transforms the soul. So we look at a person holistically. You are a physical being, a spiritual being, and we want you to live a fulfilled and happy life at the end of the day. Also, one thing that I want to give to you, and for you to just understand that in times of trouble and in times of darkness, you can reach out to a higher power. For me, personally, it's God. And when I read this scripture, it made me notice how similar it is to what I do on a daily basis. And it's basically from John 10:10, where Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says, I have come so that they may have life, and life in abundance. And in that way, he means that he wants people to be living a fulfilled life, to move away from just surviving, to actually understanding the abundance that is in life, and the joy and fulfillment that you can still receive in life. So it's very important for us to live good quality lives and make sure that we're reaching out and looking for the help that we need. Do not be ashamed to have mental health issues. If you have a brain and you going through life, we all have mental health issues at some point or another, and make sure that you're reaching out and you're getting the help that you need. There's no shame in that at all. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.